said there, but here is the moment where he said he was just giving them the respect they deserve. 8 minutes were left in the game. Your reactions to this moment?
I've watched the NBA and been a part of it for a long, long time. I've never seen this. A guy walking into the huddle with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and dapping up the entire team. Too much for me. Obviously, you can do that after the game and show plenty of respect. That was a little strange for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do like what he said, that he wants to give him respect, but I think you wait and you have to take your licks at the end of the game like everybody else. I do want to say, I mean, he was definitely hobbled. Minnesota definitely hobbled. With DiVincenzo out, Io didn't look like he was full strength either, and they played hard. It was a valiant effort, but it was. I mean, he was right. San Antonio was just a better team.
Yeah. Now, you had a reaction there to what he said at the end about needing to build a team that has championship habits, playoff habits. I didn't get to hear the question he was asked, but what were you thinking when you heard that?
Well, you would think that they would have that by now. You would think that they would have that. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. You would think over the years that they've built that. I understand. I think this is Julius Randle's second year, but you would think that a team that has been there, they would have those habits. So the fact that they don't have those habits are very disappointing to me. Because once you get here, and I say this all the time, the playoffs has a way of revealing what's inside you. And I didn't like what I saw from some of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant was definitely hobbled. DiVincenzo was out. But some of the things I saw I didn't like. And what I will say is great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears because I'm so damn mad we losing. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm going to sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm going to put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So that's just the way I handle things. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit old school. I understand there's a different generation, but I don't think if they were beating San Antonio, Wemby would have went down there and shook his hand with 8 minutes left. I don't think so. I damn sure know Wemby wouldn't have went down there and shook his hand.
I don't even know if that's old school.
That's just school.
Yeah, so for me, I love Ant-Man as a basketball player. I love where he's going to be as a basketball player, but as a leader, the next few steps he needs to make are little small details and things like that, because other people on your team and those guys are always watching you and they're following you whether you know it or not.
I think you went down to the Spurs bench with 8 minutes to go in the game. Like, what was kind of the thought process to do it in the middle of the game there rather than kind of waiting for the end?
I mean, at that point, you know you ain't going back in, so you're just trying to get them respect they deserve. So, yeah.
So some controversy going around about Anthony Edwards. I believe with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he went over to the Spurs. He went to the Spurs huddle and shook their hands. You know, and basically a lot of people were saying that was weak, or, you know, some people didn't care about it, but it's becoming a controversy a little bit because that year's over with. It was going to be hard for them to beat the Spurs. I mean, obviously Minnesota, like my Pistons, they have a lot to consider in putting around their star player. And I believe there were some mistakes that were made in Minnesota, first and foremost, when it came to getting Rudy Gobert, then getting rid of Cat. And acquiring Julius Randle, and then DiVincenzo went down. I mean, we can go on and on, right? But I have no issue with him doing that. Now, if a guy like LeBron did it with a reputation for being kind of, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Scrutinize, bagging down in big moments, and it's like the new AI. You know, Anthony Edwards is the new AI. You know, AI was the first of its kind. This is the second generation of it. Simple as that. He the new AI. Allen Iverson, for y'all don't know. So he can do things that, a LeBron can't do. You know, Kobe's reputation was so strong. You know, people say, well, Kobe would never do that. If he did do it, he can get away with. But Anthony Edwards' reputation is so strong. He's so honest. He's so raw. He's so real. You know what I'm saying? He get flowers where flowers do. He talking shit. I had no issue with it. I had no issue with it. I had no issue when the Pistons walked off on Jordan and didn't want to shake their hand. However you want. At least that let me know you care. You know, fuck y'all, ain't shaking y'all hand. You know what I'm saying? We can fight in the parking lot. Or, hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all had a great season. Y'all a problem. It's respect. I don't have no problem with him going to respect. 8 minutes left or whatever, shaking their hands. You know. Now, you know, had he went on the bench and the game was over, he ran straight to the locker room, people had something to say. I don't have an issue with it. And people say, well, I've never seen this before. So be it. His reputation is strong enough that he can do it. And Minnesota just don't have enough. I mean, we all knew that. That's why they suspended Wemby, so they could stretch it out a little bit more. We all knew that. We knew they didn't have enough. Even healthy, they didn't have enough to beat the Spurs. And the Spurs are here. And if OKC don't pack the Spurs up, there's gonna be a lot of chair moving and musical chairs out west. I think Giannis might become more of a valuable asset to Milwaukee if the Spurs win the finals this year, because people gonna be looking to match up with Victor Wembanyama. I think that kid from Michigan, Mara, his stock gonna go up. Edie stock gonna go up. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen stock going, and it's gonna be the big fella is gonna go up because you need to stop Wemby. You need to bang Wemby down low. You need those athletic bigs or those bigs that can put Wemby on a back hip and post Wemby up and beat Wemby up. So Wemby becomes that much more of a valuable asset. I mean, now Giannis become a valuable asset. Now those bigs that can stretch out or can move their hips and move their feet fast, but in general, I have no issue with it. Anthony Davis now, they say they might not keep him in Washington. He becomes a valuable asset. You know, now people may be thinking like with Anthony Davis, but now he one of the few people that kind of can stick with Wemby. People seen the way Zion went at Wemby, and now people might be like, look here, Joe D. Hey, look, I got this if you come off Zion. A lot of people's stocks are gonna go up, bruh. A lot of people's stock gonna go up. But I had no issue with it, man, showing good, you know, competitive, you know, Anthony is a competitor, and that was good sportsmanship. And I don't care if you show bad sportsmanship, to keep it real, as long as ain't nobody getting injured. I don't care if you don't shake their hand and you say, fuck y'all. As long as you show some type of passion and you care. You know? So I'm not gonna make it a big deal. Yeah, this new generation is probably this is soft, and I had no issue with that, bro. That's like, man, y'all motherfuckers a problem. I gotta get to work this. It ain't nothing that he can be a better player, but he need help. They need help. When we start talking about Giannis, somebody that can run point for them too, they need help on multiple fronts. They need a firecracker off the bench. Like if I'm looking at them, I need a Malik Monk off the bench. I need a point guard, a true point guard. Somebody I can get to run the offense, and I need somebody that can give me a bucket. Now Malik Monk can probably fill both those bingo cards, and then they pride themselves on. So you got to be able to be willing to play defense. So I mean, yeah. So when I look at them, they need a guy like, bare minimum, they need a guy like Malik Monk off the bench. You know, they need a point guard. Malik Monk, you get in there, he get you a bucket with AE to close game. You need a point guard that can run it. Conley is cool. You know, he getting older. You know, they need a guy like Giannis. Giannis would be perfect. They need to get rid of Rudy Gobert, but then again, that opens up another issue. Who you gonna get to play the 5 then? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make all that happen. Respectfully, it's gonna be very hard for all that to happen for them. But if I did make moves with them, you know, you banking on that Shannon guy to become a better player. That's what you banking on. You banking on Shannon to be a better player, the Shannon kid. That's what you banking on. But in general, if I'm making them, I'm going after Giannis because I got to match up with Victor Wembanyama. I'm going after Giannis. And I'm probably going after a guy like Malik Monk. Bare minimum, another guy, Zach LaVine. I'm going after them. I'm rolling out. You know, unfortunately, you might have to give up Jay McDaniels, but it is what it is. But if I can roll out with both them brothers, if I can put AE in the back, and I need a point guard. Like, where you? Woo! I don't even know where you find a traditional point guard at anymore. Ja Morant can do that. You know, LaMelo Ball with the right, he can, but it's a lot to get to Minnesota, bro. You'd have to, like, for the best case scenario for them, they would have to find somebody young and mold them into that point guard. And I don't know where you find that at. How you really would have to go out there and you know what? I don't think you can mold this young nigga. I'll be real. I don't think you can mold him. Anthony Simons is somebody they should go get. He free in Boston. Anthony Simons is somebody they should go get. I will go out there, get Anthony Simons. You know, I know they had problems developing Rob Dillingham, but I would get Simons, Cam Thomas. Okay? Simons, Cam Thomas. If I was them. And I'll try to get Giannis. You know, I'll try to get Giannis. And I'll try to mold Anthony Simons into a point guard. If I have to go get a Steve Nash to mentor him and be part of our staff, you can mold a guy like Simons. I think Cam Thomas, his game is just too far gone. But I've showed this kid how to get in and get out our offenses and all that. And if Chauncey get exonerated, love to bring Chauncey onto my coaching staff. But in general, Minnesota is probably going to lose Anthony Edwards. Probably going to lose him. So, you know, it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the love and support. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Peace. Find me everywhere. Links in the description.